Buccaneer. Buccaneer. What is a buccaneer? Is he buccaneer or is he bucca here? I have no idea. Why is a ship named a destroyer if it only pops balloons? Crow's nest? I don't see any crows nesting on it. Cannon ship? No thank you, I've already got one on land. Why are you ripping off the internet, historian? A gun. Bang bang, bang 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 bang. All of this and more on this episode of On the Pier. Buccaneer, or what some people may call boat, is a simple naval vessel that fires singular high-pierce darts from both sides of the ship. Its upgrades are relatively simple, either increasing the rate of fire, introducing new weapons, or generating some end-around cash. While there isn't much to the tower on the surface, the Buccaneer is by far one of the most popular towers in BTD6. But why? Well, it's simple, reliable, and can hold its own during early, mid, and even late game. Some notable mentions being Destroyer for being a solid mid-game defense for around 5k, Carrier Flagship for giving a near guaranteed ticket to round 80, and Pirate Lord for absolutely smoking the late game with a combination of hooks, flaming grapes, and cannons. Such a shame its hard counter is the existence of water, but hey, something needs to keep this tower in check. But enough of my lengthy introduction, let's get right into it.
Oh no!
Top Path Buccaneer focuses primarily on attack speed, along with a little support tacked in on the end. Faster shooting increases the Buccaneer's attack speed by 33%. This applies to all weapons, so grape shot and cannons benefit from this upgrade as well. Double shot adds an additional dart to the Buccaneer's main attack. This upgrade also increases the number of grapes by 1 if you have the middle cross path, but it has no effect on the number of cannonballs fired. Upgrading to Destroyer makes the Buccaneer attack super duper fast, but really it multiplies the Buck's attack speed by 5. This upgrade also increases the attack speed of Grape Shot and Hot Shot, so it's often the better cross path choice unless you're limited on range or camo detection. And with the upgrade only costing 3k, it's by far one of the most cost-effective mid-game towers, when paired with an alchemist and a village. Aircraft Carrier has the same base attacks as the Destroyer, but come with 3 small monkey aces that fly around the map. The small planes fire a collection of darts, Moab-seeking missiles, along with a spray of grapes if you're chosen the middle cross path. Given enough track length, these planes do a relatively good job at popping pretty much anything. However, these pilots have had a little too much to drink before takeoff, so their movements are a little bit erratic and inconsistent, to say the least. While some may draw their own conclusions on what demographic the monkey pilot may be from, the lore implication of a bunch of drunken midgets flying planes sounds a lot funnier to me. And to wrap it all up, the Carrier Flagship increases the Buck's offensive capabilities, while introducing some support. All plane attacks deal more damage, have more pierce, and can pop every balloon type. However, it still needs some form of camo detection or the bottom cross path to attack DDTs. The Carrier Flagship also grants a buff of the same name that increases the attack speed of all water-based monkeys and aces. This includes the flagship itself, so it's effectively giving itself an 18% attack speed buff on top of its damage boost. The boat also has 2 platforms that can fit all small to medium footprint towers. Both platforms are elevated off the ground, so towers that are placed on them can see over some obstacles. While niche, Carrier Flagship is an amazing tower for maps that limit the amount of effective space, or you are low on other options. However, the unreliability of its planes, and weakness to super ceramics, makes it struggle during late game and free play. And I'm not saying it's bad because of that, since it's quite strong for its price, and it still transitions well as a support tower. But the flagship will require the presence of a stronger and more expensive tier 5 if you are going further than round 80. Speaking of powerful tier 5s, the Millpath Buccaneer pairs quite well with the carrier flagship since it's both water-based and can decimate the late game. The base grape shot adds a volley of sharp grapes that are great at controlling crowds of balloons for just $600. The number of grapes can be enhanced through the aforementioned double shot upgrade and Big Bunch monkey knowledge. Hot Shots improves the grapes by giving them a fire-based damage over time effect and lead popping power. But the grapes can no longer pop purples, so be careful when upgrading them before a purple rush round. Upgrading to Cannon Ship adds another weapon to the Buccaneer's arsenal. Each side of the boat gains a strong cannon that fires bombs that explode into their own frags. Cannon Ship is quite cost effective for the 20s and 30s, but it's mainly used as a stepping stone to the following upgrades. Speaking of which, Monkey Pirates gives the boat a massive glow up, buffing practically everything it does. The boat has triple the cannons that now deal 3 damage to regular balloons and 6 to Moabs. Grape damage is doubled, and doubled again against ceramics. And on top of that, it gains a hook that can reel in a single Moab, BFB or DDT with a long cooldown. All of this in a 5k package makes Monkey Pirates an early mid-game menace that can hold its own against pretty much anything but camos. And if you thought Monkey Pirates was good, Pirate Lord takes everything to a new level.
Captain!
Yeah?
But really, the Buccaneer attacks twice as fast, along with the cannons and grapes getting large damage bonuses. The hook ability fires 2 additional hooks that can reel in most Moabs, but ZOMGs require twice as many hooks to pull in. The hooks come back 40% faster, and the ability immediately goes off cooldown upon upgrade, which can be useful during daily challenges. On top of that, blimps hooked in with the ability produce double the money than if they were popped normally. This can be increased with Monkey Town and Monkey City village buffs, along with the rubber to gold debuff to produce. Going back to my main point though, the Pirate Lord synergizes well with the carrier flagship, since the Pirate Lord can do a lot of late game DBS, while the flagship can help chip down Moabs and buffs the Pirate Lord's attack speed. Give them a reactor and a variety of cheap support monkeys, and it forms a solid impoppable and chimp strategy next to the avatar of Raft. While the top and middle path often go hand in hand in fulfilling different damage niches, the bottom path takes a more supportive role, sacrificing raw damage for cold hard cash. The first 2 upgrades are just your stock standard range and camo detection upgrades, but the pierce increase provided by the former interacts with each weapon differently. When upgraded to Merchantman, the boat opens up its own spice cartel and now generates $200 dues at the end of each round. This can be increased by 20 with Monkey Knowledge, which is a neat bonus for all tiers. Favoured Trades improves the cartel's efficiency by upping the boat's income to 500 per round. The upgrade also doubles the boat's attack speed and increases the selling value of all towers in its range by 10%. This sellback is extremely useful for boss events since it gives a better return from selling expensive boss killer towers and farms. Finally, Trade Empire increases the boat's income one last time to 800 per round. While it's a nice pay rise, for 23k it's often better to purchase it when you have a few other merchantmen on the field, so you can make a good use of its global buff. Speaking of which, the Trade Empire buff increases all merchantmen damage and improves their end of round income based on how many of them there are on the map and how well upgraded they are. While I'm not an extensive tester, from my experience it's often good to have around 5 to 10 merchantmen on the map to maintain a steady flow of income before and after the upgrade. But Trade Empire isn't the only thing that can buff merchantmen. There are boatloads of other buffs that can improve the base stats of a merchantman. The carrier flagship gives all boats an extra 18% attack speed. Marketplaces increase every merchantman's income by 10%, which can be stacked up to 10 times for an additive 100% bonus. and Monkey City also boosts their income by 20%. While I still stand by my point that an XX4 village is boring by itself, I cannot deny how well it synergizes with merchantmen, given they are a good source of income, pops, and are more effective when spammed. If you don't have access to farms, merchantmen are by far one of the best income sources in the game, while also providing a solid mid-game defense to boot. Just keep spamming them and you can afford pretty much anything with just a few rounds of income. Why do I hear boss music? I'll say it bluntly, Navarch of the Seas is one of the most powerful paragons in the game. Well, at least currently. The Navarch has strong raw damage, insane insta-kill abilities, and provides strong utility, all in one expensive package. In typical Paragon fashion, it takes the abilities of the three paths and adds a game-changing twist to them to make them a lot better. From the top path, the drunken midgets are upgraded to spaceships that have improved darts and missiles. It also comes with 2 platforms and an improved copy of the carrier flagship buff that can buff the ace paragon. From the middle path, it gains 2 different implementations of the hook ability. The passive green hooks can reel in many non-bad blimps in short bursts, and the activated claw can pull in whole bads. The activated hook can only be used twice a round, so use it wisely or you may be caught off guard. And from the bottom path, the Navarch produces $3,200 at the end of each round, and grants its own copy of the Trade Empire buff that can be stacked with another Trade Empire. But at that point, you will be swimming in money anyway, so it's not as game breaking as it may appear. The Navarch's power is only second to the Ace Paragon, but the sheer utility and damage provided by the Navarch makes it a close second. Even then, Doomship plus Navarch is by far one of the strongest combos to beat most elite bosses except Dread Balloon. While cost may be a concern for some, when compared to other Paragons, it has relatively cheap tier 5s, and dead average Paragon upgrade cost. And this Paragon is the only Paragon that can actually produce its own money. Overall, Navarch is an amazing tier Paragon if you have the funds to purchase him. But I am keeping a close eye on the incoming Paragon rework to see if he gets significantly buffed or nerfed. This video was a wild ride to make for more reasons than one. Nothing really to add other than that. So have a good one, and I'll see you all in the next video. Oh, and thanks for 5k.